Hello everyone, hello my lovely listeners, wherever you're listening from in the world. Welcome to my podcast, Hannah Talks. Today I would like to talk about resources and mostly books and online content that helped me through my awakening and is helping me for the last couple of years, for the last 2 years. I would like to share the books that I'm reading. The books that are with me and accompany me throughout those years, and also some content creators, so podcast creators or some people who are on YouTube and share their content and explain things, spiritual things. Those people that I've been listening to them for a long time, or some of them I have just picked up recently. Starting with books, I actually, I am just very shaken today. My mind is all over the place. There are those solar activity that is happening now. Apparently, I did not look at this, but there is a woman. She's called Alisha Beashe, and she is talking about it on her Instagram and on her YouTube channel, and just it's called solar flares. It's just a lot of electromagnetic activities, and this basically affecting us all very much, and the things how it looks like is just could be a headache. For me, it's just very much feeling like all over the place. I can't bring my words together. I forget things, and I just feel like I am very dissociated and kind of all over the place. But never mind, I will try and record this podcast today. I was listening to the podcast of I will tag him at the description. I think he's called Conscious Awakenings, but I don't remember. It might be that it's Alisha Beashe, called Conscious Awakening, and he is talking. I think he's a guy from Canada. Somehow I have got a lot of content creators and kind of spiritual community people from US and Canada and Australia. So he is from Canada. Like I said, I will tag him in the description, and he is talking and explaining the law of one, which is I talked about this in my other podcast. It's a channeling book, but there was a couple of scientists, and I think there was a journalist, but I am not sure, couple of scientists, and I do have this book on my Audible, and I was listening to this book 2 years ago, so it's called The Law of One, and those people, I think it started in the 70s. One of them, the woman from the group, she started channeling. I think they are 5, 6, or 7 dimension beings. I think they are from 7 dimension, and they were basically explaining the life on Earth and our 3rd dimension and what we are doing here. And this lovely guy is explaining to us almost sentence by sentence and word by word of what it meant, what they meant, and how they explained our life. And today he was explaining about sharing and giving and how the living in the kind of your seventh dimension or seventh chakra, the free living and the abundance, the true abundance, is not about money, and it's not about possessions. It's really living in the dimension of freely giving and receiving, of this flow, of everyone kind of sharing whatever they have, whatever they can, and not expecting anything in return. So I thought that this is my way of giving, this podcast. And like I was saying before, even if it just opens a little bit a door for one or two people, I'd be really, really happy about this. And it's the podcast is created, I think, more for myself almost than for anyone else, or it comes from the real need to share, and also from being really, really grateful that I've been put on this way, but also in hope of connecting with you, of connecting with other people. So like I said, I will tag, or I will just note the exact name of the person who is sharing the Law of One material, and also Alisha Beashe. She's got a YouTube channel. She invites her friends and guests on the channel, and they talk all about things like solar flares, and just a very recently they talk about just what's happening on Earth, and kind of also what I've been talking about, so how to live with this, how to take it on, how they experience it in kind of spiritual realms as well. So these two I have been listening to for a couple of months now, probably for a year, and they're just very good thing to open your mind and just take anything you like from it. You don't have to agree to everything. It's just listen to it with open heart. I have a couple of books next to me because I hate taking notes. Hate is such a strong word, but I really don't like taking notes before my podcast. Everything is just very spontaneous, and so I just collected all the books. I'm sitting next to them, and first book that I've got here is The Secret Language of Your Body, and this is by Hay House. A lot of the books that I have are actually by Hay House. Hay House is I don't know if you've ever heard, it's a huge company, and it's actually they've got a podcast as well, meditation podcast. They probably now quite mainstream. They've got lots of oracle cards and things like this. They probably very mainstream. 9 Day grew from, I think it was set up by Louise Hay, and I don't know how much into mainstream and things like this they are now, and how much they are now for the money, but they did as well produced or edited amazing books. And this book, The Secret Language of Your Body, The Essential Guide to Healing, actually was one of the first books I used, because this is like a book that you are actually using. So you read it and you read it and you work with it. It gives you a very tangible ways of healing yourself. It's kind of like a meditation, but it gives you exact words, and it's almost like a medical spiritual guide. And the thing about this book is that just when I was kind of waking up 2-3 years ago, I went for a walk with a friend of mine, and that was just at the beginning of lockdown, and that was the time when a lot of people were just clearing their houses. And what they did in the area that I was living, very often they would put things that they cleared out from the house, they would put it outside on the pavement. So the area is quite nice part of the town when I was living back then. I would walk and like find things, and these books were lying down on the pavement in front of the whatever, a house, a door, and all of the books there were kind of this spiritual books. So one of them was this one, the other one was Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsh. And I just grabbed all those books, I think as many as I could carry. And my friend, who is not spiritual at all, was looking at me as if I went crazy a little bit. So I now I'm thinking I should have just carried all of them or go back, but I never did. So I just grabbed maybe 8 or 6 of them, and I just carried them home. So this book, The Secret Language of Your Body, basically gives you parts of the body, adrenal glands or hair or gums and abdomen, small intestine, spine, and everything that could be wrong with it. Well, when I say everything, it's a guide to physical disorder and suggestions for healing. That's what I mean. So for example, I did a lot of healing on my hair. Almost every night I would do this healing, and every morning I would do this healing on my hair. My hair was just very dull and kind of falling off because of the stress that I've been under, prolonged stress. So the hair, how this explains, your hair is your intuition and protection. It represents beauty, creativity, self-worth and self-love. When there is too much tension in the scalp from thinking, worrying, being afraid, holding on to anger, frustration, guilt, resentment or sadness, hair starts falling out or change color. That is the body way of showing you that what you are doing is not working. So as you can see, for each and every sickness in the body, some sort of disorder in the body, pains and aches, there is this kind of spiritual explanation why it's happened, and it goes into the root. So in this case, to me, it was about the self-worth and the beauty and the creativity, which was so pushed away, kind of suspended in me. And then it gives you a remedy for each of those things. So for the hair is, for example, start by gently massaging your scalp using circular movements. As you massage your scalp, imagine that they are rays of different colored lights coming out of each of your fingers, and that these rainbow colored rays are stimulating the growth of your hair. And then it goes and it gives you kind of step-by-step instruction on how to work with yourself. And this is very much to do with kind of Reiki treatment as well. For me, that's how I feel it. And using your own body to heal yourself, your own energy, your own faith in your own healing power, which you have. And that's why, when something is hurting, you touch it. You just subconsciously touch it. When your child or your friend say, it's complaining on the parts body that are hurting, very often you touch it. You tend to touch it as well, because in this touch there is a healing power. And the more you read it, the more you think about it, the more you kind of feel and are aware about the energy circulating in your body, the more you will experience that. And it's not going to happen at the first time or the second time, but my hair, together with everything else that I was doing, definitely stopped falling as much. I did see a doctor because of that, and I did some other things, but I think that those combined things, they help you. And yeah, there's kind of a spiritual cure for eyes. I had some kind of eyes problem. There was a lot of things going on in my body then, and this really helped me, because I was just working with myself on this energetic level. The second book is, which I've mentioned, is Conversations with God, and this is book 1. I think there are 3 books about this, and this is amazing book, especially for someone who, like me, maybe comes from Christianity and you know, from this kind of faith, but maybe not necessary. I don't know how a person who is you say agnostic or never believed in God would read this book, and how would they feel after reading it. That's really interesting. So as always, you can reach out to me and let me know. I would really like to connect with you. And this book, the Conversations with God, is about a guy who basically, yes, who hears God and asks God questions, and these are questions that we all have about love, about, you know, who the God is, about money, sexuality, about choosing positive, negative, and how to live in life. Is really interesting. And this guy asks questions that we all have, and the answers that God give are really, yeah, give you food for thought, definitely. And this is the book that you can just come back to over and over again, every time, you know, every couple of months, once a year, and just find it interesting. So that's another one. Another one, I think we'll only have time for those for 4 books today, and I will come back to the content creators at some other point. The other book is Awareness by DeMello, which is DeMello, and this is the book again that you just can come back. It's like a dictionary. It's like a spiritual dictionary. You can just come back to it over and over again, and to me is like a main book, because awareness and being aware is the main thing that was like a title of my life for the last couple of years, and it just gives you again a very basic understanding of the spirituality, of the feelings of your body and how it is connected. It talks about, for example, a fear, which is the root of violence, awareness and contact with reality, good religion, the antithesis of unawareness. So things like this in a very sleepwalking, maybe just a paragraph from sleepwalking. The scriptures are always hinting of that, but you'll never understand a word of what the scriptures are saying until you wake up. Sleeping people read the scriptures and crucify the Messiah on the basis of them. You've got to wake up to make sense out of the scriptures. When you do wake up, they make sense. So does reality. But you'll never be able to put it into words. You'd rather do something, but even there, you've got to make sure that you are not swinging into action simply to get rid of your negative feelings. Many people swing into action only to make things worse. They are not coming from love. They are coming from negative feelings. They are coming from guilt, anger, hate, from a sense of injustice or whatever. You've got to make sure of your being before you swing into action. You have to make sure of who you are before you act. Unfortunately, when sleeping people swing into action, they simply substitute the cruelty for another, one injustice for another. And so it goes. So this is another really good one for just reading anytime you feel like you need some more confirmation or understanding, and you always discover something new. I haven't read it for a long time, and I have it also on Audible, so I listen to it, but the experience of actually reading a book is different to listening to something on Audible, because with Audible you tend to do something else also. So you tend maybe walking, or being in the car, or driving, or being on the bus. So you do something else. So sometimes and obviously someone else is reading it to you, so it's like the whole other experience. So having the actual book, I got this book in a charity shop, in a second-hand shop, where I get a lot of my books, well, most of them. And they all usually sit on the shelf, titled spiritual or religion, or self-help. That's where I find my book. I don't know if in the towns or cities where you are, or countries, you have those kind of shops. It's basically second-hand shops, where people give the books that they've already read. And the last book, this one I purchased on Amazon, and it's called The 3 Waves of Volunteers and the New Earth, and this one is by Dolores Canon. I recommend it 100%. You need to read it. It's an amazing read. It sounds like science fiction, and Dolores Cannon also have got YouTube channel because she used to do just talks to audience, and she basically hypnotized people to the level that they remember they different lives on different planets, and they came back with a lot of stories and explanations of why they are on Earth, how were they live on different planets. They had answers for their present selves of how to live and why they are going through things that they are going through. Talked about the call that Earth had. So there was a time, I think just before the nuclear bomb, that the Earth was about to be destroyed or something like that, and then the other dimensions or other planets or other being from the other timelines basically helped us. And one of the main things also is that now is the time that a lot of new souls coming to Earth to help us to jump to a different dimension. So these are the books that I really recommend you read. I will put them on the description, and I will make a part 2 of this podcast with some more books and some more content creators for you. So do like this podcast and share it. Will help more of us to get awakened. If the times that we are in didn't awake you yet, I think more and more people are getting awakened, and a lot of this content is now available online. And I think once you happen to find one person, it just goes on like a chain reaction. But it is really good that someone goes and recommends you stuff, so you are less in the darkness. So thank you again, my lovely listeners, and I speak to you next time. Bye.